Hi, I'm Cheryl from So Much Cosplay. And when you are cosplaying, sometimes you go back to wear an older outfit and it doesn't fit anymore. But if it had been made with a separating zipper, you can create an expander panel to make this cosplay fit again. So what you're going to need to do is to create a pattern for the piece that you need to add to this particular cosplay. So I'm just using a piece of paper, and you're going to put that underneath here. You can put this on your mannequin, or you can have somebody help you to figure out what this shape should be. But you're going to want to make sure that wherever it is that it needs to be angled, that would be really important to know, so that if you are wider in one particular area and not as wide in other areas, that you make this the right size. So you're just going to take a pen, and you're going to draw this right here on your paper, and that's going to create your pattern. And I have already created that piece here. You can also see that I've added my 5/8 inch seam directly to this pattern piece. So now I'm ready to go ahead and put my piece to fabric and cut those out. The next important part is to use an separating zipper. And when you go to purchase your zipper, you're going to want to look for one that's the same color as the one that you used before, but also you're going to want to make sure that you match the teeth to the actual zipper. So I just test that out ahead of time to make sure that I purchased the right one, and it does look like that I did. We want to make sure that we put the teeth on the right side of the zipper. And so we're going to just make sure that we match those up with the male and the female ends of the zipper. Next, I'm going to place my zippers, and I'm going to do that using a sticky tape that will wash away later, but I'm going to just go ahead and lay this tape down, and this is what I do instead of using pins to put my zippers in. So I'm just going to tear that off, and we're going to go ahead and peel the top layer off, and that's going to be now like a double-sided sticky tape. And I'm going to line my zipper up just to the outside like that. And we're going to go ahead and lay this tape down for the other side like that. And we're going to make sure we get the top layer. We'll just go from the other end. We know that one will work. There we go. And you're going to make sure you put the correct end, and you're going to want to make sure that that lines up right there, and we are good to go. Okay, so now we're ready to sew the zipper in. So the first thing that we have to do is to remove our regular foot and attach our zipper foot. And we're going to just snap that on. There we go. And we're going to need to move our needle just slightly, and we're going to be ready to sew. If you don't have the sticky tape, you can do this with pins. Just make sure you don't sew over your pins. And we lower our foot, and we are ready to sew. You're just going to want to make sure that your zipper is laying as flat as possible. All right, and here we go, and we're ready to sew the other side. Just got to get all of our threads out of the way. This side without the zipper head is much easier to sew. And that zipper foot just goes right up against the teeth of the zipper so that you can finish this up lickety-split. All right, and now we are ready to put in our lining. So you're going to take your lining piece and you're going to line it up. And this is where you will need a couple of pins, just so that your lining doesn't slide around. And what we're going to do when we sew is we're going to still sew directly next to the zipper. We're going to try to sew directly on the previously sewn line so that we know that we are creating the right, oops, gotta lower that foot. And we're creating that exact spot. And make sure that's not caught. There we go. We don't want it to gather up on that end. Now I made sure I put my pins well out of the way. All right. And we just need to do this to the other side and we are ready to turn it. Oop, lower that foot. It does remind you. Make sure you get your threads out of the way so they don't get caught. All right, and now we are ready to turn this right side out. So we're going to take our pins out and we are going to flip it. There we go. All right, so now we have our zipper here set at the bottom and we have the ends here at the top. What we can do is tuck all of this in and do a top stitch, but let's zip this into our costume just so that you can see how the expander panel works. Okay, and so again, you would go ahead and finish the top and the bottom. Again, you're just folding those in and top stitching across. That will close those holes and you're ready to go ahead and zip in your panel. So we've got one side. Here's the other, and of course you got to line it up properly. There we go. And now you have your costume expanded, or your garment. We can also see that here on this one. Let's say your body changes again and you are back to the original size of the costume. All you have to do is take these out. There we go. And your costume can go back to its original size. So again, if you have anticipated body changes or unanticipated body changes, you can always make your garment just a little bit bigger with a separating zipper.